Hello, today we are going to discuss another market condition. We have done in the previous videos perfect competition and then we did monopoly. Now today we are going to do a market known as monopolistic competition, or this is also known as imperfect competition. Now, how to know whether a particular product manufacturer falls under this category? The basic features of this market are that the number of producers is more than one, but it is much less as compared to perfect competition. We may say that number of producers is few. We may say there are many producers, 10, 15, 20 or around that number, or in some cases it may be even more. This may take the form of micro enterprises like boutiques, fashion houses, and even the salons, or maybe some countries manufacturers of shoes, maybe, because if they are very large number of the individual seller is of a very big size, factories of a very big size, the companies of a very big size like Nike or Nokia, then in that case they go under oligopoly or not under monopolistic competition, although they are an offshoot of monopolistic competition. Now, another feature of this market is the nature of the product. The product in this market is said to be a heterogeneous product. The nature is heterogeneous. That means not homogeneous. It is different from perfect competition. That what if the qualities that the product has, it may not be the identical in case of all the companies. It may not be the same. The type of service that they provide, or the type of product, its color, its shape, its weight, they may differ in size or in color or in some other qualities. So they are called as heterogeneous. Now, another point which is an offshoot of this second point, that since the companies do not have the same quality, they are little bit different from each other. So each producer takes help of advertisement and publicity programs and tells everyone that, see, my product has got these following features and this is the best product that you can get in the market. It is superior as compared to the product launched by my competitors or other companies. So this may attract number of consumers towards him, buyers may increase, but some critics, they say that this leads to wastage of resources. Unnecessarily they spend too much of money on advertisement of the product, and that is a social waste of resources. But to survive in the market, he has to undertake this kind of policy. Another feature is the limited restrictions that are imposed, or they do exist, not imposed, they do exist. And the restrictions are not from the side of any legislation or from the side of government, but they are there in a natural way, that the type of goods that you are making, a new company can also make a same product but not a similar product, and it is competition that on the basis of quality, on the basis of cost, he can compete with you, he can also become your rival and he can establish himself. There are so many examples which explain this particular point. Another thing is that this market, monopolistic market, is a realistic market, and we do find number of cases of these type of companies which work under conditions which we call as monopolistic competition. It combines the qualities of features of monopoly as well as the features of perfect competition. Then in yourself, you are a monopolist. Because there is a consumer lock-in, that consumers get accustomed to your particular variety of the product. For example, if some newspapers, some people, they read only one particular newspaper every day. And if the price goes up, they do not mind. So, I mean, if the price goes up, only up to a certain extent. And they are not attracted towards the other brands. So, this is known as consumer lock-in, and you find this particular feature under monopolistic competition. I will show you just a little, wait for a few minutes, that the equilibrium does not take place at the minimum point. It is to the at a distance from the minimum point on the average cost, and due to that this is called as excess capacity. These companies maintain excess capacity. Since each company has to satisfy unique demands of its customers and they differ from each other, so they cannot increase the production by leaps and bounds. They have to see how much quantity of their product can be absorbed in the market. Now these days there is a fashion that these companies have started, this is another point, these companies have started spending a lot of money on packaging, labeling and transportation of their products. This is a social waste. Why? Because these packages, packings, material, etc., one day it has to go to a landfill. This is thrown out, and the boxes on which you are supplying this material, they become useless. So they occupy space, and we have to engage workers to remove it. So this is social waste on various fronts. Now I come to the equilibrium point, the main part of this discussion, or what you call as the profit maximization system, how the maximization of profit takes place. See here, diagram number 1, this one. OQ is the equilibrium output, because at E point marginal cost cuts marginal revenue. Just see, the dotted line is marginal cost, and this other line is marginal revenue as well as marginal cost. At this point they meet each other here, and here is average revenue being higher, this point L, and average cost at K point lower. This difference is the rate of profit, and the total profit is shown here. So these companies very easily they earn what you call as supernormal profit. They take advantage of their name, label, brand, etc., and they charge higher prices. As by higher I mean more than the average cost. So in short period there is abundance of companies having this kind of super profits. But in the long period what happens, you can see in the diagram number 2. Diagram number 2, this is long period equilibrium, long period profit maximization. Again you will find that ON is the equilibrium output. At E point marginal cost is cutting marginal revenue, and at K point average cost and average revenue both are equal. And I'm sorry, I've not shown the marginal cost here, and this I am putting now here. I have put the marginal cost here now. So that was in the short period, the correction that I made. And here is both of them, they exist. Marginal cost is also there, marginal revenue is there, and that is what the equilibrium point. And this is giving the firm only normal profit, because here at the equilibrium output, marginal average cost and average revenue both are equal. A price is being charged which is based on the average cost. You can see at K point, these two are touching each other and they are equal to each other. Now, why does it happen? Why the firm earns normal profit in the long period? The firm earns normal profit in the long period because, after all, there is competition in the market. If you will continue to earn super profit for a long time, the new producers will enter. You will attract more producers in the market. They will come, they will produce, and they will supply in the market. As a result of the increase in supply of that product, prices will come down, and the average revenue will move towards the average cost. So in that case, the two will become equal to each other, and super profit will disappear. The companies working here in this market, they know this, that we may be facing competition. In fact, as a matter of fact, if you speak the truth, equilibrium is very difficult to establish. Equilibrium is very difficult to establish in this market because there are variants of your product. New producers are entering the market and they are bringing new type of services or new type of facilities. And just see, because of this market, after sales service has become very popular. All such companies, they provide after sales service. So as a result of this, the consumers get some benefit of this particular policy. I stop here and thank you very much for listening to me.